In the secondary circus acts, known as freak shows, which first appeared in England during the 16th century, people with unusual physical traits were showcased as bizarre spectacles. At the time, deformities were often seen as signs of the supernatural, stoking folklore and public fear. Showmen like Barnum exploited these beliefs, turning physical differences into highly profitable entertainment. While today these kinds of shows are banned, they were once gateways to fame and fortune. And today, we'll look at the 15 banned circus freaks you won't believe. Number 15. Alice Bounds. Alice was born in Calcutta with limbs that didn't follow the usual rules. Her elbows sat where wrists should have been, her knees where ankles go. She moved better on all fours than upright, and she used it. In 1880, Bounds crossed the globe to perform at Dreamland Circus Sideshow in Coney Island, where audiences knew her as the She-Bear, or sometimes Ursa, the Bear Girl. Her gait was already animal-like, but she leaned into the image. She wore fur, moved on all fours, and let the crowd believe what they wanted. Through the early 1900s, she kept performing. While not much else is recorded about her life beyond the spotlight, Bounds' act helped shape one of the classic images of sideshow exhibition, where a real medical condition met theatrical exaggeration. In a world built on illusion and interpretation, Alice didn't hide her difference. She built a persona around it and left a mark in the history of the American freak show. Number 14. Daniel Lambert. Well, Daniel didn't just gain weight, he built a career on it. He was born in Leicester in 1770, but then grew into a massive, powerful kid. He was athletic, swam with grown men on his back, and even worked as a prison keeper. By age 23, he was over 450 pounds. After the prison shut down, Lambert was left with a pension, but also a reputation. Curious strangers kept knocking. When one man pretended to talk cocks to gain entry, Lambert snapped back, "Tell him I'm a shy cock." Eventually, he gave in to the attention and moved to London in 1806. People paid to meet him, not just to gawk, but to chat. He was intelligent, witty, and didn't suffer rude comments. One heckler mocked his coat. Lambert answered, "If I knew what part your shilling would pay for, I'd cut it out." He died in 1809 at 39. His casket had wheels. A wax figure traveled America before ending up in Barnum's museum, where it melted in the 1865 fire. Number 13. Stone Eaters. Now, stone eaters go back at least 1,000 years. One of the earliest was a man in Prague around 1006 who claimed he could eat rocks without harm. In the 1600s, Thomas Gobsill was told to swallow pebbles to relieve stomach gas. It worked, until he was walking around rattling with 200 stones inside him. He couldn't digest food, but still kept swallowing more. His doctors didn't help. Others made a career out of it. Francis Battaglia, who performed at London's Bartholomew Fair in the 1600s, claimed to have refused milk as a baby and preferred stones. He swallowed handfuls with beer and 3 weeks later passed sand. Dr. Bulwer insisted this was all he needed, plus tobacco. But by the 1700s, regurgitation tricks were exposed. Houdini himself learned from a circus regurgitator in 1895. Swallow coins or stones, then cough them back up on cue. Mac Norton added frogs. The Great Waldo swallowed mice. And today's top act is Stevie Starr, swallowing everything from billiard balls to goldfish. Freak shows were cool. Number 12. Thomas Weders. Thomas had a face you didn't forget, mainly because of his nose. Born in Yorkshire in the early 1700s, Weders reportedly had a nose stretching 7.5 inches. That's 19 centimeters of sheer cartilage. He made a living off it, exhibiting himself throughout Yorkshire. According to Medical Oddities books from the late 1800s, Weders was considered both fascinating and tragically dim. The Strand magazine joked that nature must have spent so much effort crafting his huge nose, it forgot to add a brain. Or maybe there was no room left. Despite the mockery, Weders left behind one of the most iconic facial profiles in sideshow history. His wax replica, giant nose and all, still stands at Ripley's Believe It or Not museums around the world. Visitors stare, wonder if the story was exaggerated, and leave with one question. Could it really have been that long? Whether real or not, Weders' place in circus history is secured, one nostril at a time. Number 11. Dave Ballard. Dave, known as Tobor the Robot, the Texas Giant, and even Santa Claus, was born in 1905 in Texas. At birth, he weighed just 10 pounds, but by adulthood, he stood 7 feet 7 and weighed over 350. He finished high school, started college at Austin, then dropped out when money ran short. He worked in shops, movie theaters, and then found a stage. Ballard's size made him ideal for vaudeville. He played pirates, Keystone Cops, even a robotic spaceman named Tobor on early television. But one of his oddest roles? The world's tallest Santa, where kids behaved, but drunk adults picked fights. Nobody's ever original, he sighed. In the late 50s, he joined the Cristiani Brothers Circus, later appearing with Ward Hall as the Texas Giant. One summer, Hall even hired another 7'8" performer just to sit outside and tease crowds into buying tickets to see Dave inside. Ballard's time as a giant ended in 1968 when illness finally took him. Number 10. Clifford Calverly. Clifford wasn't the first man to walk a wire across Niagara, but he made sure people knew him. On October 12, 1892, at just 22, he stretched a thick steel cable 200 feet above the river gorge and crossed it in just over 6 minutes. Then he turned around and showed off. He lay flat on the wire, sat in a chair, swung from his toes, head pointed straight at the rocks below. Some couldn't even watch. The Dundee Courier wrote, "Many turned away shuddering from the sight." The New York Times crowned him the champion high-wire walker of the world. But fame doesn't always pay. Months later, he walked again, this time in baskets, cooked food mid-air, and even performed at night. A phrenologist once declared his skull showed courage, but you didn't need a skull reader to know this man had nerve. In 1937, Life magazine ran a feature on Calverly at age 69. He still dreamed of walking the wire one more time. Number 9. Captain Constantinis. Captain Constantinis claimed to be an Albanian explorer kidnapped in Burma and tattooed by force, but that story was fiction. The tattoos were real. Every inch of his body, from his scalp to his fingertips, was covered in Burmese symbols, animals, and mythic designs in red and blue ink. Only the soles of his feet remained untouched. Born around 1836, he became one of the most famous tattooed men in history, touring under P.T. Barnum and the great Farini. Scientists studied him at the University of Vienna, marveling at the density and precision of his artwork. He earned over $1,000 a week, a fortune at the time, and sold fabricated autobiographies to feed the mystery. Behind the marketing stood a man who understood showmanship better than most. Constantinis didn't need tricks or danger. He turned his own skin into a masterpiece. When he died, he left wealth, mystery, and one unforgettable legacy inked permanently across history. Number 8. Nikolai Kobalov. Nikolai was born in 1851 in Russia, with no arms and only partial legs. The 14th child in a farming family, he didn't let his condition define him. With sheer determination, he learned to do everything. Cut paper, eat with utensils, write, draw, thread needles, even fire a pistol. And he did it all with his stumps, cheek, and jaw. He toured across Europe and America, and even performed for royalty like Tsar Alexander III and Queen Wilhelmina. On stage, he was pure precision. Audiences watched in awe as he opened his watch, fed himself, or extinguished a candle with a pistol shot. Off stage, he lived just as fully. He married Austrian actress Anna Wilfert, fathered 6 children, and later built a toboggan ride in Vienna's Wurstelprater Park. In 1900, he even starred in an early silent film. Kobalov died in 1933, but his life was never small, not in movement, love, or impact. He turned limitation into spectacle and made it art. Number 7. The human projectile. Rosa Richter was only 14 when she climbed into a cannon-shaped barrel and made history. The year was 1877, and at London's Royal Aquarium she flew across the air as Zazel, the first human cannonball. The launch came not from gunpowder but from a system of coiled springs and levers designed by daredevil William Leonard Hunt. A puff of smoke gave the illusion of an explosion as she shot out into a net stretched below. Crowds roared. 15,000 people came to see her rise above them, a living symbol of danger and grace. Zazel toured across Britain and America, later joining P.T. Barnum's Circus, where her act became a headline attraction. But the risk was constant. In 1891, during a show in New Mexico, she overshot the net and shattered her spine. She lived but never performed again. Zazel's leap turned flight into theater and left every daredevil after her chasing the same impossible moment. Number 6. Ray Meyers. Ray Meyers was born without arms in 1911 on a Pennsylvania farm, but he never needed sympathy, just space to learn. His parents turned down early circus offers, letting him live like any other kid. Ray taught himself to play trombone in school, then mastered guitar using his feet. He plucked strings with a pick between his toes, added a harmonica held between his face and shoulder, and built his own way forward. In 1933, he joined Robert Ripley's auditorium at the Chicago World's Fair, playing next to sideshow greats. But one season was enough. Ray wanted music, not spectacle. So he went home, bought a car, and taught himself to drive. One foot on the wheel, one on the pedals. He toured churches and radio stations, sang country songs, and crisscrossed America for decades. In 1936, he returned to Ripley's World via radio and later made his way to WWVA and other stations. Ray kept playing until age 75. Number 5. The sideshow mystery. The Spiderwoman was never one person, but a shadow shared by many performers. In dim tents and gaslit halls, women appeared with extra limbs, crafted from wood, wire, and fabric, bent in ways that suggested something half human, half arachnid. The act played on fear and fascination, making audiences lean forward in disbelief. Some spider women painted webs across their skin, others wore dark costumes stitched with fine silver threads. Their arms twitched in time with hidden pulleys, their legs folded like a nightmare made graceful. It was an illusion, but effective enough to haunt the crowd long after the curtain closed. They rarely gave interviews or used real names, preferring mystery to fame. No record proves who started it or who ended it, only that for decades, the Spiderwoman resurfaced in circuses around the world. She wasn't real in flesh, but real in memory. And maybe that was the whole point. Number 4. Rose Foster. Rose Foster, born Rosina Kate Foster in 1884 in Highfield, England, entered life with 4 severely malformed limbs, yet she refused pity. As a child, she taught herself to eat, dress, and even write using her toes. Standing just 26 inches tall, she began appearing on postcards and in sideshows, knitting or smiling proudly for the camera. By the 1890s, she was performing for crowds, and by 1910, she'd completed 8 consecutive seasons with the Barnum and Bailey Circus. Her life was full of travel, Europe, North America, even Brazil, each performance challenging the idea of what was possible. In 1919, She married Frederick John Wilkinson in Southampton, using her full name, Rosina Kate Foster Archibald. After retiring in 1937, she lived quietly with her family in Lytham St. Anne's. She passed away in 1975 at 91, buried under her married name. Rose's story isn't about deformity or fame, it's about quiet endurance, self-reliance, and the grace of someone who turned hardship into a career. Number 3. Mirin Dejo. Arnold Garrett Henskes didn't set out to shock the world, but under the name Mirin Dejo, that's what he did. In post-war Europe, he stepped on stage and calmly ran swords, skewers, and fencing foils straight through his body. X-rays verified what crowds already believed. They were really inside him. Dejo said it wasn't magic, just mind over flesh. He claimed his body could heal itself through spiritual discipline, and he'd stand motionless while steel passed through his chest. Doctors couldn't explain how he survived. Some called it divine, others delusion, but everyone kept watching. He became a sensation across Switzerland and the Netherlands, performing in theaters and hospitals alike. In 1948, he swallowed a steel needle to prove his invulnerability. The operation to remove it killed him. His death only deepened the mystery. Science still can't explain how Mirin Dejo lived, or how he endured so much without breaking. Number 2. Rosa and Josefa Blazek. Rosa and Josefa Blazek were conjoined twins born in 1878 in Bohemia, now part of the Czech Republic. Exhibited at fairs since infancy, their act became established after doctors in Paris confirmed that separation was impossible. They shared lower vertebrae. Rather than dwell on limitations, the twins built their act around music. They mastered the xylophone, then violin, performing graceful duets that amazed European crowds. In 1893, they joined the World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, earning global attention. Years later, in 1910, Rosa gave birth to a son named Franz, a story surrounded by rumor. Some claimed she married a man who died in World War I, while others believed the child was adopted. Whether true or publicity, it only amplified their fame. The sisters returned to the U.S. in 1921 for a vaudeville tour, living among Chicago's Czech community. Sadly, both caught influenza in 1922 and died 12 minutes apart. Their legacy remains among history's most remarkable twin acts. Number 1. Edward Mordake. They said Edward was handsome from one angle and cursed from the other. Behind his good face, another stared back. It smiled when he cried, whispered when he slept, and seemed alive in all the wrong ways. Doctors refused to touch it. To them, he was a curiosity. To Edward, it was torment. He came from wealth and talent, played instruments beautifully, studied fine art, and avoided attention whenever possible. But that second face wouldn't let him be. He claimed it whispered hateful things, mocking him through sleepless nights. Some swore they saw its lips move. Others said it only did when he was in pain. Edward begged surgeons to remove it. They refused. The story goes that he took poison soon after. No one ever confirmed his true identity, only that his story outlived him. In every retelling, his tragedy stays the same. A man of beauty destroyed by the face that wouldn't let him rest. If you've enjoyed watching this video, be sure to like it, share it, and subscribe. Thanks for hanging with us, and we'll catch you in the next one.